Hello, 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 welcome. Yeah, hope you had a good week. Yeah, I forgot that on Wednesday I have plans, and then yesterday I spent time with my fiance because, yeah, it's basically our anniversary week, so I wanted to spend some time with her, and that's why we will not stream tomorrow, but on on Sunday again, probably. Alright, so let's get right into it. I want to look today at something that's needed for the terrain that we started last time on Monday, which is like the shader cache and shader reloading. And we had it kinda like we recognized that the shader hash is changing. So what we need to do additionally is actually add all the files in the shader directories into our lookup table. That's what I'm thinking of. We get all the headers, we load them, hash them, and store the hash and their file path. And then we save those together with the hash of the shader. And that way we can recognize if the shader is different or not. That's the idea. So we don't even do that first. We redo that again. That goes down here again. Because we want to get the shader cache first. But before we do any of that, I think I want to do the lookup thing. So, question is, where would we want to do that? I mean, probably in shader cache, right? But maybe we write out. Maybe. Wait, shouldn't the shader be here? In shader? Where is the shader? Oh, that's a CPP, sorry. We have a shader, right? Yeah. Oh, we don't have a CPP to that? Okay, we don't. Okay. Maybe not ideal, I would say. Then again, maybe it's better to have it actually in shader cache. Oh, but that's the mount point, right? Oh no, that is the shader directories. Yeah, we probably want to have that somewhere global. So let's add a shader CPP here. I think that makes somewhat sense. Shader age, and then here Yeah, the PSO cache doesn't really exist currently. We might want to reintroduce that at a later point, but for now, I think it's not necessarily needed. And it's actually only needed on consoles, I would say. Everywhere else, PSO cache won't really do a big difference. So we don't really need to care about that one. I mean, although maybe we implement it again in the future, I don't know. Because I think we could save them, right? And then we don't need to redo the shader stuff all the time. So let's go here and have here inline. Is it inline property grid? No, it's just void, okay. So probably we do dynamic array. Fire path get shader directories. And then we do here an include of Onyx graphics. Okay. That's how it should be. Is shader.h not included or not? Oh man, I missed that. That's why. Okay, now it works, okay. Well, that one we don't need. Alright, so that should do that. That's the full path, alright. That's not the prefix, that's the path, right? But I think that's fine. Shader compiler. Alright, and then this one is basically we as well get our shader directories here. Okay, good. Then get our files indirect and queue for processing. Do we have that already? Probably not. Asset system CPP probably. I mean, we could have it here, right? But basically, if it is a... no, let's not do that. Basically, it's... kind of that. Maybe we actually do a file system thing for that. Could do probably avoid then an in-place function that takes a void and a const file path. We could probably... Actually, let's return a bool here. If that returns false for whatever reason, we quit, right? Now we could do file this, oh god, file system path, enumerate files in the shader directory. Can I see if that is a directory or not? Oh yeah, I can. And probably we could do that, right, if we don't have a file name. Insert return. And then enqueue a different thread. But for now, we will do it here. So basically what we will do is we will load the file. We basically do the same as here, right? We load the file, then we hash the file. File hash. Oh, that's the path already. What's that? File system path. Mount point path. So we get that, we do, if that fails for whatever reason, I guess we could append that. Hello, Lord Boy. You mean nobody was streaming or what? Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't the last 2 days. But I'm here again, or so. And then do we have already header hash? I mean, probably not that. Or is it that maybe? Let me think. No, I think actually we will do... This is just header path to hash. That's basically just that. Stores Or I mean, we could probably do... Nah, it's fine. Stores add shader, include path and the hashed content used to identify if a shader has changed. That's not how you write identify, right? Yeah. Do I need more than that? I don't think so. No, don't worry. I didn't understand it in any. No, I didn't understand it like that. Sorry if it came out like that. I know that you didn't mean it like that. But yeah, Cakes is like refusing to stream. It seems like, right? Anymore. Like the development, at least. It seems like. So let's do m header path to hash, which would be the mount point path. Well, actually, it's the file hash to the shader file hash. I think. That sucks, yeah. I think that should do it. Let's see what that gives us, and then we remove that crap for now. And then we start that up. And then the shader cache here, this one should be a U64 of include paths. And then this is include paths. Or actually for each const string. And then include path in place. Yeah, that one will be a little bit ugly. Well, not really, but we need this basically down there. So we convert that include path to a mount point path. That mount point path we hash, and then we emplace it. And that is include paths. We could think of doing that dynamically, but whatever. And let's... So basically, that is the... We convert that probably to a mount point path as well. And actually, if the path has extension? No. Probably the extension equals O shader. We continue. Will return because we don't really care for that. Handled by the asset system. Path. And then this cannot actually happen anymore. And then only if that one includes our path hash, then shader header changed. Let's see. Let's see where that ends up in. I think I need to delete the shader so for this. How is it going for you, Lover Boy? Already settled in everything, and how is your assignments going? Hides previous one include. What? Did I do it wrong? Oh yeah, I did. Return true. Or we always return true. Actually, that can't happen, right? I mean, failed reading shader file, I guess. Is that not it? Oh. Did I change it? Okay, I did change it there as well, yes. I mean, that can be... Why would I mark that const, actually? Can't be const anyways. All right. Yeah, I'm curious how Cakes continues, I guess. If he starts something new or not. Seems like he still wants to continue with his game. Which I can understand. Did I not? Oh, well, I did. Okay, that looks decent. 62 things, really. I guess we want to skip things, so if extension equals O shader, then we as well return true. Because I don't think we want those to be handled as well. Still 62? Oh, really? Okay, is the extension .o shader then? Is it like that? Oh. Okay, then this is not enough. Enumerate files. I mean, I guess. I mean, probably we don't want to have. Probably we don't want to have directories here. Okay. So at that point then... Okay, that looks a little bit more reasonable. I think it would be nice to have like... Actually, let's add that for debug reasons. Shader header. Or shader include cache. Entry. U64 path hash. U64 shader hash. And I think I still want to have as well file path. Path. And then can have that, I guess. I think I need more though for hash set, right? But I guess we could do that. We would do that. Do I need to store the path hash? Probably not. We could always reconstruct that. Hello, Captain Chica. So with that in our hands, we can do all of that. We can do this. Code cache. From this. Yeah. Oh, where? Wait. What? Do I need not to do here if count entry dot shader hash? Ah, okay. Why? Okay, okay, okay. I see. I see. I see. I see. Need to do a little bit more here. Yeah, that's true. That's a benefit. It's just that I cannot afford a house, so that's the fun part, right? Not, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. But what? Does it build now? It does build right now, right? Yeah, okay, it didn't build. Oh, that's not too bad. 1 hour is acceptable, I would say. Alright, so that looks like all of our headers. Although, yeah, those two, not really, right? So I guess if it's not a .h file, we continue, I think. Yeah, that's true. 2 hours is a little bit much, right? Because 2 hours back and forth, that's almost half your workday already. Which is like a little bit much. Okay, that looks perfect so far. So now we need to adjust the shader cache. So basically what I would want to do is probably disk shader cache path. That's fine, right? The only thing we need to verify is if out entry dot include path. So basically std any of in the include path doesn't matter. Can I? And then here I use 64 include hash. M header path contains include hash, right? Is that not how we can do it? Oh, okay, that works. I see the ranges. Technical pen? What do you mean with that? So if any of them is not contained, I guess. Or like we could do all of, and then this. And if otherwise we redo it, right? I think you need to tell me what you mean with a technical pen. But what's a technical pen? I mean, oh, is it like... I have an image in my head, but not sure if it's... Ah, those ones, okay. It's like this, right? Nah, I mean, not really. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't know that they are called technical pen. Okay. Oh, okay. Graphic one. I see. Can you not suggest me to do that, please? Thank you. Okay, so I would want to have here, actually I would want to have else Onyx log info shader header changed be compiling shader. Yeah, okay, I mean technically that's redundant, right? Okay. So can we test that? Yeah, probably we can, right? So first of all, we do generate all the shaders again. Hope that this works. And get blinded by the beautiful white screen. Damn, that takes forever. I wonder what took so long there. Is it the file parsing now that takes so long? No, okay. Well, whatever it was, I don't really care for now. So let's go to common then. Add a space here, and then we should get a shader header changed, exactly. And then the question is, if I close that now, do I enter here? I mean, I should enter here for sure. But the clues are up to date. Oh, I mean, that one maybe. Damn it. Why would you be all up to date? Oh, because we are empty. Cool. I mean, that's perfect. Not. Okay. We write them out, right? Or are we not writing them out? Okay. I mean, that looks fine. That white is like killing me. Okay, cool. And then when we read them again, length 0. Okay, I mean, that sounds about right. Length 3. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, we're not... No, we are setting it. Okay. This cache entry is there. Which one is the common one? Oh, wait. $160. That's the include paths. That's not what we need actually. Hold on, that's not what we need. That's actually not what I need, right? That's not good enough. Because we need actually the hashes of those. I think what we actually want is header to path hash dot shader hash. Technically, I mean, maybe we need to clean that up, and then here we need a little bit more sophisticated thing as well. So basically we need if the include paths yeah, that's a bit, yeah, I think we should probably do we have a map here already? Yeah, we do, so we could probably to a U64 to U64, right? hash map. Basically we do this includes clear and includes add. That is our header path to hash include path hash shader hash. Then please tell me this has a hash map. Yes. Please tell me this has a hash map as well. Yes, perfect. And then here basically we do includes. And then this is probably auto key value. Can I do that? Yeah, okay. Can I do key value? Does that work? Okay, I guess that doesn't work. Unfortunate. So if M contains key value first and M had a path to hash at key value first equals key value second. Does that not work? Why does that not work? Does that not work? I mean, it should work on the map, right? That works, okay. Has to be like that. Interesting. Okay, we don't have that. Well, I mean, maybe I will change that, but whatever. Alright, let's clear the shader hash, shader cache again. Let's hope. God damn it, stop it. So the idea is we store all their includes and all the hashes. find you. Basically go like that. Alright, so we have that, and then... Alright, yeah, we still have that, okay. So we read here back, okay. Okay. Includes up to date, true. Oh yeah, makes sense, because we didn't change anything, right? So we should be true for all of them. Okay. And now we change that again, or we can change it back to this. And then here. Oh yes. Unfortunate. Okay. What? How many did we have? Not a lot, okay. So it directly failed at the first one, or what? Okay. Okay. So we actually only have like one shader source. And here we've actually no content. That looks sus, but okay. Stage hash 452. Oh wait. If stage hash is not that, then we do pre-process here. I see. That is a problem. I guess I kick that out for now. I would need to think about that. That stage hash is a bit of a problem, yeah. I guess... Maybe it would make sense to actually store them per stage. That includes... I mean, that's in the commons, so we basically will recompile all the shaders, I think, or most of them. So it will be basically the same as a... Okay. What? Okay, wait, hold on, what? If its existing shader is force. Oh wait, that's a bit of a... Add stage. And then this is... Okay, that makes all sense. I think... This doesn't make too much sense. And probably that one doesn't make too much sense either. I think. And yeah, then... Yeah, that all doesn't really add up. Okay, so we added that here. And then if I revert that back, we should be booting again, I think. Perfect. So that works. So we have the shader cache working for headers, I think. Is it perfect? No. Especially we're doing a lot of unnecessary work potentially right now. So we probably should do it a little different. So I think the shader hash is fine like that. So that's the shader hash. That's fine. I think we can keep that. Although this is probably wrong when we do the reload. Because that is not correct when we do a reload from memory. So we can deal with that. Actually, let's put a comment here. This is not correct when I mean, probably we need to do the same thing, right? So basically, we should most likely do a is shader entry up to date or something like that. Or we check this in here as well. Actually, that might be best. So, bool is entry up to date. That can be a const. And then we move this in there basically. And then we can take a U64 shader hash as a different value. And then return, like if, or we can do actually. That would be this, right? And then we can do here is entry up to date with this and that. Actually, we do another thing. As entry. So if we have that, then we do entry iterator, otherwise we add a new one, right? That should do it. I think there is a better way to do that though, but it's fine for now. So basically, if we have an entry if we are up to date, then we do that. As we get our entry from the shader cache. But we don't need to load from the shader cap if we already have it in memory, right? Because then we will not get anything from that. Oh, that's nice. How did you get that? Is it generated from an AI or? Or did you write that? Oh, okay. Which AI? Because I need it as well, like I need documentation as well. I'm curious which one you used. Codestra, never heard of that. What the hell is that? Oops. Okay. All right. Well, I will put it on my list of things to look up. Eventually getting there. And then if we don't have anything, we don't do that. So that should still work, right? So we should still end up here. Has loaded. And then basically if has loaded and is entry up to date basically. So that is this cache entry and the shader hash. So that should still happen. Well, that was a bummer. Somewhere I have an error. Here. Okay. Where? I guess we can do that here. There's nothing lost about that, I guess, having this here. No, that should work now. Okay, maybe not. Oh, alright, we can do that, right? Yeah, I already generated a couple of like, do I still have it? Let me quickly, wait, what? Oh, we don't return here. Fuck me. We of course need to return here. So I think I still have some. Is that the documentation that I generated? I think so. It's quite old already, but I did a couple of test things already with ChatGPT. It was okay. It was okay, but yeah, I need to go over it by hand as well, because it did some weird stuff sometimes. But if it gets me like 70% there, I think that's a good trade-off, right? Or like even like 50%. If it gives me 50% of what I want and then I do the rest of the 50%, that's already good enough as well. Yeah, don't really want to pay for that, but yeah, it might be better. Okay, so I think, yeah, we do get there, and now let's change a header, but let's maybe change one that is not much like used everywhere. So let's change the Imgui one. Okay. And that should be the Imgui one, right? Yeah. And then we recompile that and horribly fail. Perfect. Why would you fail? Entry. Shader is empty. Why? Why would you be empty in this case? Oh, wait. I think that might actually be fine here, this part, right? I think this was wrong. Okay, yeah. So I think here what we would want to do is, if it's an existing shader, we probably would want to update here the thing. Oh, but then that should have worked, right? Shouldn't that have... Shouldn't that have worked? Famous last words. So this should work, right? Yeah. And then let's change that again back. And that didn't do anything, which is kind of weird. Okay, now it did. Okay, that works. I'm not quite sure why that doesn't trigger a redo. Shouldn't that trigger a recompile as well? Shouldn't that trigger a recompile? Where do we load the Imgui one? It's a little bit unfortunate, right? Disk shader cache path. But that's so weird. Corsac. Imgui shader. 289. That exists. It's loaded and up to date. Two 894. Okay. Fair. But then I do this. And then you're not up to date anymore, right? Yeah. Because now the shader hash is 2362. Okay. That's that. Ah, because we don't delete. Because we don't delete the old shader cache. Of course, yes, that's why. It's already in the temp folder. That's why. Because this version is already cached in the temp folder. Makes sense. Okay. All good. Alright. But I think what I want to do instead is have here a hash set. Well, actually, probably a hash map or let's do a hash set. But here an in-place array of the hash set and max shader stages, right? Includes per stage. Okay. Now we probably need to output here a little bit more. Or we include all the hashes there. Maybe we do that. We basically do that, but the stage hash is for each include. We basically hash on top our include. We convert that to a mount path. That's the include path, and then well, actually the stage hash is that, and then this is our new stage hash. And then this is not a const anymore. Hash includes into stage hash. And then this would still be that. Or? No. Yeah, then this is a problem. Okay, never mind. We need to then... Yeah, we need to store them individually. Then this is fine here. Okay, then the whole thing needs to be a little bit more elaborate. So that's basically shader stage cache entry, and then we have here your 64 hash, and then we have an in place, well, dynamic array, sorry, of shader include cache entries. Well, actually we don't need that. Alright, we can Onyx 64, this one basically. Now we don't need that anymore. That is path to content hash. And then this is basically that. And this is path hash, shader hash. So actually we probably want to have this at the top, and all of that is... Do we need this in release is the question. I don't think so. Include cache. And this is anyways not correct. So basically what we can do is if entry dot shader hash is not our shader hash. Otherwise we do stuff here per stage for each. Oh, actually then we can have this, right? Isn't that how we then have it? Stages? The fuck did I do here? Shader. I mean, that makes a lot more sense logically here again already. That's good. It's a bit of a bigger change, but okay. Does this even work? No, I mean, I guess we can do hash. If it's 0, we continue. Okay. Nah, you don't need to give me your API key for. It's fine. I don't know when I have time to write the documentation. Probably. I mean, maybe I do it during 0.5, which again should be in November. We should be starting in November with the 0.5 version if everything goes according to plan. Probably return true here if std any of, or like, yeah, any of maybe, include hashes. Include if return includes cache contains Or we could do a find, right? Auto it, include it. Or include it second shader hash is not. It's not. What did we do? So let's stage that. Go over those include hashes. We tried to find that one. Oh yeah, and if that is the case, then we see if include entry.second is not that. And then for some reason, it's STD ranges, of course. Okay. So that one works again, then this one is basically the same. Well, let's not do that for now. Don't care about that. Stages. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's not do that. Shader stage, cache entry. So that is stage entry dot hash. If the stage entry dot hash is not invalid, so usually, how do I explain that best? Every time you load a shader, right, you like need to compile it to binary, because you need to pass the binary or the compiled version, similar to how you do C++. Like you compile it, you compile shader code, and then you construct a shader module out of that. So shader.cpp in Vulkan, right? So every time we need to create this Vulkan shader module with the bytecode. And what the shader cache does is it saves basically the bytecode to disk so that we don't need to run the compiler again. because the compile stage of a shader is very slow. And then we can boot way quicker because we already have the compiled versions on disk. So you can see here the shader cache. Ignore the source and the bin directory, but yeah, here we have the cache files, right? And those basically store the binary of the compiled shader plus some meta information that I need at runtime. But that's like a detail that you don't necessarily need for a simpler shader cache. But it speeds up. I can show you once it runs again the difference between a shader cache version and not. But we need to do a couple of things before that. So the stage entry is not that or that. And then probably this one would be bytecode actually. I think that could work, and then we can get rid of that. That will take some time until we have a working version again, not gonna lie. But yeah. Stages I. And then let's take that out here. Shader cache and shader stage cache entry. Stage cache entry. Start. That's hash. We need more than that, but that's fine. Shader hash is that. What? Ah. Stage cache entry. Hash is that. Okay, yeah. And then we do all of that. That is basically let's ignore that. Let's ignore the includes for now again. Just so that I get it up and running and can show you what the difference is. And read stages I, where shader cache entry, where shader stage cache entry. Cache. Then we read into the stage entry the bytecode. Ignore that for now. And reprocess. Where did we write that? Hold on, what? And let's, where is the pre-processed stage code? Where is the bytecode per stage bytecode? This one, get rid of that. That is entry, or stage entry. that should do it, and then yeah, whatever, we can do that. Create shader. Probably with a shader cache. Ah, okay, I mean, yeah, no, let's do it actually with a shader cache. Or do we create an empty shader? Is that supported? I don't know. Wait, what? Hold on, is that a... What kind of function is that even? I mean, I guess what we could do... Ah, that sucks. No, let's do the shader cache entry actually. So we give it an out entry here. And that will be not this. Shader cache entry. That will take a little bit. We do this here. And then this is that. Data cache entry. I can show you that in a second. I kinda have that already. Bytecode. I think that should do the trick. Let's see. So I already have not a pipeline cache. I don't have those yet. I have a base class for it, but I have not implemented the pipeline cache itself. That would be another step and another improvement. Although it's not really a big one, right? But especially the compile, like the shader cache, it saves the bytecode, so that's independent of the hardware. The pipeline cache is hardware specific, so you would need a pipeline cache per graphics card, more or less ish. So the pipeline cache is way more specific than the shader cache. The shader cache has a lot more benefits right out of the gate. So that's one thing, right? It's like way more uniform in the sense of what it can do. Stage, well, auto entry, I guess. So that would be one thing. And then I already have shader reflection, which is another thing that's stored. See, you can see here we store in the shader cache reflection data. So we have that already. Let's for now kick that out. Kick that logic out. That's like the hot reloading, which we don't have fully implemented anyways yet. And the reflection basically allows me to bind shader descriptor sets without needing to know the binding, because I can bind them via a name and stuff like that, and some other things. Okay, well, I think I need to clear probably the shader cache, because I don't have a shader cache version yet, and that basically invalidated the shader cache version. So you can see how long it takes to start, and that compiles like only 10 or 15 shaders, something like that. It's not a lot of shaders, right, that I currently have, but that's like 15 shaders, and we still didn't boot. And then we crashed. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Let's see, why would that fail? Let's see, do we get here? Do we get here? What do we get here is the other question, right? Okay, so that is a bad sign. Okay, I mean, that's the load from disk. Do I care about that for now? Let's see. Let's clear that again. Let's see what we write as well. Okay, so stages. Oh, that's a problem. Out entry. Oh, wait. Oh my god. Stupid me. It's entry, right? Yeah. God damn it. Okay, so maybe that works better. So now the stages has a hash and bytecode perfect. Let's see if that works. So there's a couple of things that I do with shaders. Do I have it here where I can show it? Is it here? Yeah. So one reflection kind of thing, or like pre-processing I do is like this. So usually if you give it a vec4 without this, this would be a float vector, right? So it would occupy 4 times float size, so 4 times 4. So yeah, 4 times 4 space. But I give it this in front, and then it does already store it as a U8, so a vec4 of U8, and that will do the pipeline creation correctly as well. So I do a little bit more than just shader reflection. I do as well a pre-process on the, because that's not valid GLSL syntax. And stuff like that is stored in the shader cache. So if you go to the shader preprocessor, you can see that I do on the preprocess stage, I parse the shader code and I look for those pieces and then store the custom format for types. And then in the shader compiler itself, I do that again and set up the correct data type in the reflect. where we basically get the size of stuff. I'm not quite sure where I do that again, but I do. Is it here? Yeah, I think. It's in the vertex, right? Currently, I think here, yeah. So here the format, right? And I look for the texture format, and then I get the type and do the correct format for the vertex input and stuff like that. So there's a lot of logic already going on here. All right, so we have that running. Is the shader cache running? No. So the shader cache doesn't work because, why does it not work? Probably we don't have valid shader. So let's kill that again and let's see what we get in the shader cache when we load it from disk. Probably garbage, right? If I had to guess. Okay, that's valid. That's as well valid. Did I again do it wrong or? No, that looks fine. Oh my god, I am stupid. I copied it. Do I copy it down there as well? No. Okay. Now it should work. Yes. So yes, now you can see it, right? So that's the boot time with the shader cache. It's like not even a second. And then if we kill the shader cache again, we need like 20 seconds, 10 seconds, something like that. I didn't time it, but yeah, quite a long time. And that's just skipping the compile phase of shaders, right? Pipeline caches could improve that even further, although the what is it? The return of investment or something like that for the shader, for the pipeline cache is way lower. And can we boot here as well still? So that it compiles currently a couple more shaders that are only valid in the scene. Okay, so here we are. And then if I do that, kill that, restart, do that, and then we are here. Perfect. Alright, so that is quite nice. And I think it's cleaner overall anyways as well. We need to write out as well. Basically, if we are that, then we continue. And then otherwise we read raw that. And we read our I mean basically we do a for. Actually I think we should be able to just hash that out, right, like that. And then here as well we read that, we assert this, and then if that is that, we continue. Otherwise we write out that, and we write out the include hashes. Alright. And then we get our stage entry here. We get the stage hash. If the stage hash is not valid, or any of the includes, so basically std any of, again, includes per stage, which is if any of those Let's actually add a rule. Is R includes up to date, and we give it a list of that const that include hashes, and that is const. Then generate that. That is basically that. Alright, so that's that. Then this is return true. Well, actually we can do probably just that return down here. I mean, actually it's not end and equals that. If any of them is, and that's basically an all of them, right? Or none of, actually. No, all of is fine. Because then we can use that here. R includes up to date. What this one? If that, or false. Then we go in here. Oh yes, we'll clear our include hashes here. And then at the end here we have to fill our include hashes. Is that wrong, or what is? Why would that be so weird? Okay. And this is actually just an includes here. We can probably do hash set stage includes. And then entry, stage entry. That should do it now. Let's clear our shader cache, of course. And that should give us the thing where we end up here later once we change it for the ImGUI shader, and we should only enter the ImGUI stage here. That will take some time now again. Alright. So that should put right up. Okay, maybe not. Great. That was perfect. Not. Include hashes. We have a bytecode here. Oh, that looks wrong. Is it wrong? Yeah, that looks wrong. Yeah, sure. Have a nice weekend. I'm not here tomorrow. I have plans with my fiance celebrating our anniversary. So I will be back on Sunday probably. But yeah, looking forward to that. So have a great evening. And yeah, see you then. Save. Wait. No, that should all work out quite. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's delete that again. Let's see what we write out here. So we write out 2600 and 0. And then 2503. And 4403. Okay. But I will be heading out quite soon as well for today. I think I just want to get that running. Why would that be empty? Oh, well, maybe it is empty, right? Okay. Okay. So that... Wait, why is there... Why is there a hash here? hold on, that doesn't look correct. Okay, yeah. Why would you have a valid thing here? Okay, let's write again. Let's delete that again. What the hell is going on? Yeah, exactly. So what the hell is going on? So that's 0, that's fine. Then rewrite out our reflection info. Okay. That's so weird. Let's see if we can find what's going on. So then we read our shader hash. We read our normal hash. That is correct. That is wrong. Why do we wait? Why do we have a read? Oh wait, we have a write raw, but not a read raw of that. I mean, that's all anyways. Kinda hash map. Shouldn't that be the thing? Hash map. Shouldn't you enter here? Wait. Does that make sense? No. Why would that be a const here? Yeah, that was garbage. Alright, so that works, I guess, then. And I think with that we have it valid and working again. I think I have only one issue with the shader cache then. Which is I think we are not generating the shader probably correctly. But let's see. Maybe we do. Okay, so that works again, right? Yeah. And then let's see when we change the Imgui vertex shader. We should be hitting this here. Okay. Ah, yeah, okay, that's okay. Or do we recompile all of them now then, right? So that's maybe not exactly what I want. Because I think we end up here, right? Ah, for the Ingui one, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Team Gato.
Oh, wait. Oh, where? Okay, I see. It's because the whole shader changed. Ah, that's a bad example then. Can I do that somehow? Probably not currently. I would need to think about that where I could test that. I think I might not have that case yet. But we can probably find a use, like I can probably construct an example for that. For example, we could do it here, right? I could most likely move all of those into here. Then recompile that one. And I hope it does recompile that one. Okay, maybe not. We can do it manually. Alright, and then I think if I put a breakpoint here and we change now. Okay. I mean, I guess I could change the print. Where is my debug print here, for example? Let's add a space. Okay. Which one are you? Create volume brush. That's not the one I wanted, right? It's the render terrain. Generate volume. That's still not the one. No, that's as far as still not. God damn it, did I not? Or maybe it's not in here. Because we we might not use that one, right? Yeah, okay. Well, I will do that tomorrow, but I'm not using that shader currently because it's yeah, an oversight. But we can do that. Or are we not loading that? Oh, maybe not. Alright, but I will look at it tomorrow. Be off stream or on Sunday on stream. Not sure yet. But we are almost there with the shader reload because the headers now work. It's just a matter of does the per stage reload work? That would be nice because that would be the last bit there that would make it that we, for example, if only the vertex stage changed but the fragment stage can stay the same, we only recompile the vertex stage and not the fragment stage. That would be this part basically. Alright. So having said that, have a nice rest of your evening. I am off. I will see you hopefully on Sunday. If not, I am streaming on Monday again or during the day. And yeah, see you at least then hopefully. Otherwise, have a great weekend and a great start into the week if we don't see each other before then. Good night. Bye bye.